Good morning, everyone, and good afternoon to those of you on the East Coast. Thank you for joining today's webinar, sponsored by Swimmer Integrated Marketing by Design. I'm Lauren Young of Freshly Baked Communications, and today I'll be moderating a webinar titled Fast Forward, Get Ahead of the Marketing Curve. And Mark Swimmer, the Managing Principal of Swimmer Marketing, will lead our discussion this morning. Welcome, Mark.
Good morning, Lauren.
Great to have you on. Thank you so much for doing this for us today.
Oh, it's fantastic to be here.
All right. So just a few housekeeping rules before we begin. Please keep your phones on mute to eliminate any background noise during this conference. You will have an opportunity to ask questions with our expert at the end of the webinar. In the meantime, if you do have a question or you'd like to submit additional comments to Mark or I during this presentation, you're welcome to participate by using the chat feature, which you can find at the lower left-hand corner of your screen. There will also be a Q&A session at the end of this webinar where Mark will be happy to answer as many questions as he can during our allotted time. To give you a few more details on your host this morning, I serve as the CEO and founder of Freshly Baked Communications, which is a brand marketing and strategy content writing firm that specializes in creating memorable brand messaging across the world. I'm also a 4-time award-winning author and international speaker, and I love to bake, if you couldn't already tell from the name of my company. Mark is known for his ability to quickly assess the business needs beyond his client's perceived program scope, and he adds value and strength to the overall program and its success. His 30-plus years of experience in partnering with business professionals to achieve and exceed their goals has made him a valuable resource to his clients, as I'm sure he will be to you today. So Mark, before we get started, you mentioned in your bio that a couple of your passions outside of marketing include fine art, sculpture, and cars. So could you share with us a couple of your favorite automobile make and models?
I've had a couple of convertibles, and it usually doesn't matter what type of convertible you have, but convertibling is just a lot of fun. So
Awesome.
I really enjoy that a ton.
Great. Thank you so much. Well, everyone, Mark is here today to share with us his expertise on integrated marketing. So with no further ado, I will turn this presentation over to Mark.
Well, thanks so much, Lauren. As mentioned, it's just fantastic to be here today. The first presentation today, this will be the first out of 3 webinars. So the first presentation today will be about B2B strategy. The second will focus on implementation tactics. And the final is everybody's favorite, ROI. As Lauren mentioned, I've been in the marketing business for many, many years, 30 plus, have survived and even thrived during all the changes. But in the pace of change has increased dramatically as in lightning quick. Keeping pace means you've fallen behind. I know from personal experience, been there, done that. I've also learned a few things along the way, and the biggest, most important is staying ahead of the marketing curve. To quote Wayne Gretzky, and nobody today in the Chicago area wants to think about Wayne Gretzky, but we want to think about the Hawks winning the Stanley Cup last night. A good hockey player plays to where the puck is. A great hockey player plays to where the puck is going to be. The same applies to B2B marketing at warp speed, landscape we're in. How can we play to where the B2B market is headed? Answer, being vigilant trend spotters. It used to be a once-a-year kind of strategy, but today it's an everyday kind of thing. So today I'm going to share some of the most important trends in B2B marketing, starting with strategy. Now I know there are a lot of folks out there who woke up one day, realized that that they had fallen a little behind. The natural tendency to make up for lost time was to start implementing new tactics right away. I think social media caught us by surprise, and we started tweeting, posting before we had a strategy in place. Without a strategy, we have no goals, no budget, no ROI, So right now, we all start with a fresh slate, and that strategy. In particular, I will be discussing current and future trends and forces that keep shaping the B2B world. 2015 is the year of the customer. 2014 was the year of the mobile app. 13, the year of social media. What about 16? Customer again. Marketing strategy must begin with this focus. It has become so important, it has a name, customer centricity. Most of us have heard of that before. It puts the customer at the epicenter of every marketing-driven investment. It honors the customer's value and what we represent to the future success, to your future success. It's been called the next big thing by some of the top marketing research firms like Gartner. Really? As marketers, we have gotten away from this very basic principle. It's all about them, not us, right? And it's also about the competitive nature of this field. Over the past few years, as competition and buyer empowerment have heated up and become more complex, the customer experience is proving to be long-lasting, competitive today and over the next several years. Lauren, I believe.
Thanks, Mark. So we'll take a quick break in the presentation to do a little quiz question and get some feedback from you. So before Mark gives us the answer, you should see a quiz question on your slide. It reads, what percentage of businesses say customer experience is a major priority? You have 4 options to select from here, between 30 to 50%, between 50 to 70%, between 70% to 85%, or more than 90%. So I see a few of you have already started to vote. I'll give you about 5 more seconds to make your decision. 3, 2, 1. Okay, I'm going to close the poll and show the results. Mark, what are you seeing on your end?
Okay, we're seeing some interesting results. It looks like straight curves from between 30 and 50%. We have several there. 17%. Between 50 and 70%, we've got 28% approving that. And between 70 and 85%, almost 60%. So very interesting results. And as we move to the next slide, you'll see a lot different than reality. The correct answer is 93% say that improving customer experience is one of the top 3 priorities in the next two years. Kind of interesting based on the results of our polls. According to the recent Gartner survey, the role of marketing in customer experience found that by 2016, almost 90% of the companies expect to compete mostly on the basis of experience. Customer experience versus 36% 4 years ago. In terms of the next big thing, that's huge. Totally. Eye-popping statistics from that survey. 97% state that customer experience is critical to success. And the top marketing technology investment for 2014 was customer experience. Taken together, it tells a compelling story of where our collective marketing heads need to be. And we've got a C2B quote from an IBM executive. The great brands understand that it's all about being authentic, being true to emotions. We are moving to a world where you need to really understand the customer. We're moving to a C2B world. Some terms that you probably haven't heard of yet. Customer to business. B2B, B2C are all moving to a C2B model with the new marketing model that includes customer loyalty programs, Taming the big data beast. What? You don't document your content marketing strategy? The MVP, the most valuable piece, is video. Web optimized for mobile and B2B buying. The big one in everyone's mind right now these days, into the future, marketing to millennials. We're going to be talking about many of these topics today and learn how they are being repurposed, retooled, re-strategized for a customer-centric world. Keep in mind that this presentation is at a high-level strategy, but in the next webinar we'll cover deliverables and implementation in more detail. These will include the mobile apps, face-to-face events getting big, blogs, social media, and more. Back to strategy for a moment. Are you a B2B organization? Let's start with building a B2B loyalty program. You know, we're all consumers. Take a look at your wallet. How many loyalty cards do you have? Or mobile apps on your smartphone. You can hardly make it through several pages to your favorite stores. Loyalty programs are no longer just for B2C, but more B2B organizations are using a mix of both online and offline loyalty channels. Returning customers are a vital ingredient in your company's recipe for success, so make sure they know it. If you don't already have a loyalty program in place, now is the time to get one in place. Big data, taming the big data beast. Did you know that 90% of the world's data has been created in the last 3 years? That's why we call it big data and getting bigger. And this stat is the most recent that we have from 2013, And just imagine what it's going to be in 15 and beyond. If you think big data is only for B2C marketers, think again. Marketers today and in the future will learn new ways to harness big data to attract, retain, and anticipate their customers' needs with pinpoint accuracy. And that's our sweet spot for customer centricity. The Direct Marketing Association states that data-driven marketing added $156 billion in revenue to the U.S. economy and created almost 700,000 jobs in 2014. That's huge. Sounds like a rosy picture, but marketers are struggling. How do you get a drop of real actionable insight when you're drowning in a sea of big data? Here's the personality profile of the big data beast. Before we can harness the big data for customer centricity, forward-thinking B2B and B2C marketers need to understand the nature of the big oceans of data. According to Forrester Research, here are 5 of the top ones. Diverse, making integration costly and complex. Look at the data pouring out of smart devices, wearable computers, sensors, and that type of thing. Huge, overwhelming your technology and analytics ability. It's messy, challenging your company's obsession with using only high-quality, curated data for analysis. In addition, Gartner's research predicts that marketers will analyze data less and synthesize it more, leading to better and more actionable conclusions. Big data, not owned or controlled by you, going against the natural tendency to hoard big data in neat silos and shy away from data sharing. Big data, the really big challenge, closing the huge gap between available big data and our ability to get consumer insight. actually customer insight. Where do we start? Where do any of us start taming the big data beast? By getting your organization in shape first. This is what we're communicating to all of our customers moving forward with our new strategy base. Setting a strategy in place with goals, timelines, and deliverables that are based on your culture, expectations, inside processes, sales team, and IT infrastructure. I'll be getting into implementation in the next webinar, but for now, getting your strategy ducks in a row is huge and key. You don't document your content strategy, right? No surprises, but content is trending now and will continue to trend even bigger. Looking into the future, the need for good content will not slow down ever. Reusing content, using it in email blasts, blogs, use it as many times as possible. Content, particularly visual content, will reign supreme online, evolving into various forms that will turn conventional marketing models upside down. Moreover, the demand for top-notch content will speed up dramatically. Looking ahead, you need to be prepared with a strategic plan that can keep pace. What's hot now? According to B2B Content Marketing 2015 benchmarks, budgets, and trends, the average number of content marketing tactics used by B2B marketers is 13, with the top 7 being, very interesting here, social media outside of blogs, 92% leading the way, e-newsletters, about 85%, articles on your website, this is what we're talking about, using and reusing the content, articles on your website, 81%, blogs, 80%. In-person events, we'll talk about in detail next time, 77%. Case studies, about 77%. And video, video is huge, about 76%.
Wow, that's awesome. Well, Mark, we're going to take another quick break in the presentation to do one more poll question. So everyone, take a look at your screen. Our final question is, what percentage of corporations have documented content strategy in place? So think of this as which companies already have planned this out as part of their business or marketing plan. Your options are 10%, 25 to 40%, 41 to 75%, or 75% to 100%. So as everyone is voting, I have almost 100% participation here. 3, 2, 1. Okay, I'm closing this poll, and let's look at the answers here, Mark.
All right. We looks like in the of all of our folks tuned in today, we've got an even amount for 25 to 40%. Feel that about 43%, even with 41 to 75%. So restated, 25 to about 75%. We're at a 43% level on those, and 75 to 100%. We're at about a 15% level. So kind of interesting as we toggle to the next slide. The big surprise is that only 35% had a document content strategy. 48% of marketers didn't. We're talking about a written down, consensus-driven, documented content strategy that synthesizes all tactics cross-platform with a single goal in mind. Since we're at the midpoint of 2015, now is a great time to revisit your 2015 marketing plan, see if it's on the mark or not. and get it in writing if it's not already. Remember, you can't measure what you can't manage. You can't manage what you can't measure. And with a formal written down integrated content marketing strategy in place with clear goals, ROI metrics defined, you can more efficiently document your campaign success. The next webinar will cover proven written tactics to cut through the noise, including expanded marketing within your organization, what customer-centric content is, and creating easily shareable info bites. So dialing back to something I said earlier, video, your MVP today and tomorrow. What's the most valuable piece, MVP, you can add to your content marketing strategy and customer experience? Video, like I just mentioned. So that we're all on the same page, let's look at the main goals of a video content marketing program. I call them the video value trifecta. They are raise brand awareness, grab attention for clients and prospects, generate qualified leads as the top three. But according to a report, I may be preaching to the choir here. 92% of us, if you're a B2B marketer, and 74% B2C marketers already use video in their marketing efforts. Here's the real question. Are you maxing your ROE, return on engagement, /ROI, investment today, and prepared for where video marketing is headed? Here's a word about ROE. How many of you out here have heard of ROE? Sorry, lost my train of thought. Let's take a look at some of the recent research. Actually, backing up. Okay. Video is, sorry about that. Video is all about ROA, return on engagement, and engagement leads to conversion, which leads to measurable ROI. So ROE is our new buzzword learned today. Back to my question, how prepared are we to where video is headed? Let's take a look at some very recent research or trend spotting to get ahead of the curve. Where are we today? Email loves embedded video. Video in an email can boost open rates by 20 or more percent, click-through rates by 2 to 3 times. That's huge. Subject lines love video. Using the word video in the email subject lines boost open rates almost 19%, click rates by about 65%, open rates by 39, click-to-open rates by 39%, and reduces unsubscribes by about 25%. Video love story number 2. Google loves video. The chances of getting a one-page listing on Google increases 53 times with a video. Facebook loves video. We all love looking at Facebook videos. Reported it received an average of 3 billion video views a day at the end of 14. Imagine what it is now. Mobile loves video. Smartphones, tablets account for 38% of all video viewing. Amazing. Here's some crystal ball predictions. Cisco predicts that 74% of internet traffic in 17 will be video. Mobile video traffic will grow by 14 times, believe it, by 18. By 18, 87% of tablet users will watch at least one video a month, and I bet more. Video consumption in the U.S. is expected to increase from 195 million in 2015 to 212 million in 18. That's nearly 2/3 of the population looking at video. Video can be used in many ways. We'll cover that in the next webinar. Web optimized for mobile. It's estimated that 90% of us have a smartphone mobile device with us at all times. Is it any wonder that marketing as we know it will end in 16? This will be the year the U.S. digital ad spend, including display, video, email, lead generation, search advertising, will shift from desktop and laptops to smartphones and mobile devices as we all have them and use them frequently. It has a name out of the sci-fi flicks, Desktopolis. Although 2014 was the year of the mobile app, 15 is the year of the customer experience. Mobile apps will be a gotta-have tech to enhance customer experience. B2C marketers have led the mobile optimization trend. What does that mean to B2B? Without an optimized digital presence on mobile devices, your mobile marketing efforts will never reach their true potential. While mobile apps used to be a nice-to-have feature, optimizing your company's website for mobile has become a mandate to be competitive. The big driver behind this shift is the rise in millennials as B2B decision makers. Your overall strategy needs to focus on mobile experience. We're already seeing this shift to the smaller screen in 15, as we all see every day. Businesses are including less information on websites to accommodate mobile visitors. Websites to mobile, the optimization happening right now is incredible. Millennials, as we mentioned in part one. Marketing to millennials, everyone's mind is on it. Millennial marketers, I know we have some joining us today and some baby boomers as well. Several of us in my organization are of each. Keeps it fresh. Google recently did a study and found that 46% of potential buyers researching B2B products are millennials. That's up from 27% in 2012. With retirement looming for baby boomers, we're facing the next generation of B2B decision makers sooner than later. Also, 34%, an unbelievable 34% of people involved in B2B buying decisions in 2014 use their mobile devices across each stage of the purchase. That's not a future trend prediction, that's a fact today. In terms of customer centricity, how can we enhance the mobile customer experience? I just gave away at the previous slide, the answer is mobile apps, and I'll talk about implementing that in the next webinar. Back to the millennial marketing strategy right now. Demandbase, in their article, A Guide for B2B Marketing to Millennials, provided us with a millennial B2B buying perspective, which I really like. It gives us baby boomers a big picture perspective on three key factors we need to consider when developing a strategy. Here's the Reader's Digest version. Marketing to the entire account. Millennials actively seek consensus and collaboration. In fact, over 50% say they feel they make better decisions at work armed with a variety of peer options and input. Marketing to the needs of the entire account instead of a single person will help develop a common language amongst marketing and purchasing teams. This will prove to be valuable when millennials start collaborating on making buying decisions. We've all seen this. Personalize the sales cycle in all of our people in marketing and purchasing, logistics, and that type of thing. While researching products or services, millennials actually prefer to interact with the vendors directly. They want authentic, personalized experiences to explore your offerings and ask questions. This means that during the research phase, you must be prepared to deliver a high-touch experience to the target accounts. Number 3, marketing experiences don't end with the contract. Competitive pricing will always be a factor in the decision-making process. But beyond that, millennials are primarily concerned with finding vendors who can act as collaborative partners and provide a great client experience. Delivering great personalized experiences to build trust is key to gaining the initial contract signature, but just as important to retaining millennials as customers. In the next webinar, I'll be discussing other factors such as corporate transparency, shareable content, instant response, and tactics to reach this growing segment of millennials. Okay, key takeaways in today's presentation. To recap the key takeaways, customer centricity, C2B model, is a driving force in developing all marketing strategy in the face of current marketing trends. Learning from the B2C colleagues in terms of loyalty programs, data-driven marketing, and video. Big data is getting bigger, and the sooner the B2B harnesses the power, the better. Document your content marketing plan and strategy. It's not too late to jump on the video bandwagon. The end is near to the desktop ellipse. Get mobile or go home. The big picture for marketing to millennials: market across the account, personalize the experience, and build a relationship after the sale. Thanks so much to everybody. Really enjoyed presenting all the material. Glad that everyone joined us today. Happy to answer any questions that you might have. So take it away, Lauren.
Thank you, Mark. Thanks so much. So we're going to move into the Q&A session for today. This is your time to share with us. So what did you come away with in today's webinar? Is there an example or a stat that Mark shared or a statement that made you pause and think about your own organization? Mark and I invite you to share with us your thoughts in the chat field right now. And if you're interested in learning more about today's program, you can find out more information on the brand new Swimmer website, which you can find at swimmerschicago.com. If you did register for this webinar in advance, you will receive an email within the next day or so that will contain a short link to this recording, so you can listen back if you were taking notes and wanted to see some more information or just listen to something like that again. Our next webinar will be on Tuesday, July 14th. We'll talk more about implementation tactics, and once again, if you did sign up for this webinar, you'll receive an email next month with more details on the topics. All right. Our first question we have here is from Bob. Bob is asking, Mark, you mentioned that there are more B2B marketers that are using video over the B2C marketers. So since the B2C marketers started this trend, do you feel that they should be using video more than B2B marketers?
Oh, I think it's definitely evening out. I mean, B2B is getting smart on what B2C has been doing for a long time. So I think as the B2B marketers, to answer the question, B2C ought to be increasing their video exposure even more. And also when they're developing the videos, great content. I mean, great content that they're coming up with, and why not reuse that and reuse that as needed and necessary many times.
Wonderful. Great. We have one question from Sarah. Sarah asks, she says she works in a very siloed environment. She wants to know how to get people to collaborate on some of these initiatives that you mentioned, specifically big data.
Okay. Well, big data, basically, as mentioned, we're looking at big data as far as getting it from specific areas, basically commingling big data with other ways to get data, and really is key. That would be through your own research channels, other smaller places that you could tap into, environments that are not as large, so to speak, to get bits of information about your organization or organizations similar to yours.
Great. We have a question from Julia. Julia wants to know which areas of print are still viable today.
Our approach really from the beginning, and the beginning is a long time ago for us, began from print, and in our opinion at Swimmer Marketing, it's all integral. That is, we're still going to need print. Print ties in so well to online. Imagine when you're shopping for something. Of course, you're getting emails. This is more B2C. You're getting emails in the frequency that you'd like towards you in your email box. You get a catalog in the mail. It's just all these methods and means are so interactive that we still see print as a good part. It is diminishing, and the world sees it as diminishing, but I think it's still an integral part of any strategy or plan.
I agree, 100%. All right. Bob has another question for you. You mentioned video quite frequently in the presentation today, so he wants to know a little bit more about Vine. In which ways are people using Vine to do their marketing?
Vine, I'm not very familiar with. Are you, Lauren?
Absolutely. It's one of those formats that you can use to do video, short snippets of video.
Okay.
For individuals that want to get out a brief message. It's basically the Twitter for video.
Okay. Yeah, so that one, sorry, I'm not very familiar with that one.
Okay, no problem. Okay. One more question. You mentioned ROE, which was return on engagement for content marketing. Could you elaborate on that a little bit more?
Sure. ROE really is all about your return on brand strength. Basically, how effective was your content to captivate your audience, young, old, etc., or the marketplace that you're in making basically your brand stronger. For the most part, it monitors and measures your social outreach. How many likes, how many shares, comments did it generate? The more you build that marketplace, you can do things like I'm doing today, webcasts, you can use, reuse, as I've mentioned too. So it's, just mentioning that everything is interactive. This marketing method, they're all integral in basically showing your marketplace that you're authentic. I mean, people want to deal with people. People want to deal with people they like. People want to deal with organizations that they like. Apple, we're an Apple-based organization, so at the Apple Store a lot, just get really good feeling about the product, the people that are there, the environment, the products they come up with. It's a win-win.
Absolutely. Okay. One more question from Julia. She's in marketing for the nonprofit sector. Will these principles apply to her industry?
I think they definitely will apply to the nonprofits. We also do work for nonprofits, and they are still and continue to be believers in print. But I think video and more for the not-for-profit sector, you do see videos of they all run, usually one large event during the year, so you'll see snippets from that. They've got a ton of information to share in the breakaway meetings, so those typically are all videoed. And I don't know, many times that they're on their site for viewing, or sometimes they're behind the login or on a pay-per-view kind of basis. But I think they're on top of video pretty well.
Okay, fantastic. Thanks, everyone, so much for all of your questions. As I don't see any additional ones listed in the chat area, I'm going to wrap today's webinar. Mark and I would like to say thank you very much for your time, and we hope that you learned something that you can share with your team. Take care, and we'll talk with you again on Tuesday, July 14th.